Hello my friends, and welcome back to another Brotato Danger 5 Genetically Modified Overkill run. Hope you're all doing well. Today we're building the ultimate explosive tank. We're gonna play the Bull, which explodes whenever you run into an enemy, alongside the Ogre, which makes enemies explode when they take a bunch of damage, so we're gonna chain explosions across the whole map. And then add in the Chunky, which makes us more powerful when we gain HP, and of course all of our abilities scale off of maximum HP, so it's going to improve our power level even further. Bull is very difficult on the Abyss. This is of course more powerful as a build than the standard Bull, but this should be pretty fun. I don't think enemies are going to get close enough to that tree to let me kill it. You need an enemy to help you break trees with the Bull, and I didn't think an enemy was going to get to us, so we just ran off to kill other stuff rather than run over to that tree. Here, I'm going to reroll. I want some harvesting or max HP, either of those. We definitely don't need attack speed, we don't have any weapons, and I'll start off with some harvesting. Let's pick up this Scar, and we will take the bag as well. Elemental and melee damage from the charcoal will work to scale our damage from Bull, but I think we can do better in the first shops, so I'm going to roll here, and yeah, we do, in fact, manage to do better, and we can lock a bunch of powerful economy items, which is exactly what we're looking for in the early waves. I like the little bag icon. Usually that one's covered up by other stuff, but by your weapon, but on the Bull, you can actually see that we have a little bag at our belt. Chunky does reduce our regeneration, because it's meant to rely on consumable healing. So we will, of course, have to find more consumable healing and more luck and stuff in order to make that powerful. We'll just take the max HP here. We want as much of that as possible. Let's go ahead and buy the coupon so we get our discount. And then I think I'd rather have the Scar than the propeller hat first, so we're going to pick that up. Scared Sausage we don't need. We want to be chaining explosions through the whole map, so we don't want to be trying to set things on fire, but we'll go ahead and take this. Small Fish is amazing for us. We don't care about our attack speed, and in fact, for the Ogre, actively want to reduce it because it increases the amount of explosion damage that we get. It scales negatively with attack speed, so the lower our attack speed, the better the Ogre explosions are. And of course, increasing damage against high health enemies means we're more likely to one-shot enemies and trigger the chain explosions. Explosion size would be the number one thing that we could find here. That's exactly what we want most. Okay, so here I need to just wait for that enemy to get close so that we can then kill. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Explode the whole wave. Need to wait for an enemy to get close so that we can kill the tree, because you need to take a hit in order to kill the tree as a Bull. If you get Pocket Factory and Lumberjack shirt, that can help you out. Of course, also the easiest way is if you get one of the items that deals damage to you every second. That can just cause the explosion to happen. Not only is that great for just killing everything, it's good for killing trees as well, because you don't need help anymore. Sorry for the cut in the video there. I had a phone call I had to take. Let's go ahead and pick up some armor here. We're going to want as much of that as possible, of course, so we will start buying it early and often. Gentle Alien, this is the number one effect that we want for this character. More enemies means more chained explosions from the Ogre, and is exactly what we're looking for. And then the Hedgehog is nice as well. We also do want bonus move speed from the Beanie, but I'm not going to take the Terrified Onion because we need to pick up consumables in order to heal reliably. We can still use regen, but our regen is reduced because we're playing the Chunky. It's only at 50%. Alright, I don't want to buy movement speed. We're playing the Chunky. Of course, the Beanie doesn't work because Chunky's movement speed modifiers are reduced by 100%. Forgot about that briefly, but don't worry, we got there in the end. When you're playing these tripled up characters, it is hard to keep track of every modifier, which is part of what makes them fun. So let's go ahead and move around and then wait for that guy. Really want some explosion size. That's what we need more than anything else, just so we can chain these explosions better. Got the Curse Alien there. I am starting to take more damage than we are healing reliably, which is, of course, a problem for the bull, especially on the Abyss map. So we will need some more luck in order to generate consumables that can keep us alive. Let's go ahead and reroll here, and I will take the armor or just 1.5 regen. I could also take 5 harvesting. I'm just going to take 2 armor just to make sure we're staying alive. Let me make sure we don't have anything that stops us from buying ranged damage. We just can't use ranged weapons. So our ranged damage will still go up, and that does scale the bull's damage when we buy the hedgehog here. So let's buy the gentle alien, and we will buy the hedgehog. Does cost me half a regeneration, but that's fine. And then broken mouth, of course, is excellent, which again costs me another regeneration. But oh no, right, the bull and the chunky's regen modifiers cancel each other out. Today we are learning. So we have 100% regeneration purchase, so we can actually just buy regen normally. I don't have to avoid regeneration. Not as good as it is for the bull normally, of course, because the bull typically gets to buy regeneration at an improved rate, but buying regen at a normal rate is good. So I skipped a couple regeneration levels that I would have probably got if I had remembered that ability, but we're learning here. Oh, come on. There we go. I missed dodging into that enemy's attack because I'm just too good at video games. So I was trying to get hit deliberately to break the tree there, but my instincts were just too strong, and we dodged out of the way of that incoming attack. Let's go ahead and reroll here, and I don't really need dodge. I'm just going to take the 2 regen, get our regeneration back up. Pearl I'm going to buy just because I love Pearl, but I'm going to take the Shady Potion first so that the Pearl scales more. We will take the Goat Skull. Crit chance is good on this character, of course, but bonus melee damage is going to help the base damage of our bull explosions, which is very important. And then I guess I'm locking all of these because this is an awesome shop. A weird thing about this character is that the penalty from the chunky is actually quite significant, the move speed, because Bull really wants to buy move speed so that you can more easily get on top of enemies. Without that, the character can struggle a little bit. Breaking that tree with a little bit of assistance. There we go. That's the kind of chain explosions that we're talking about. Really want to find more gentle aliens and stuff. So that we're more likely to chain explosions across the entire map. Let's go ahead and take the Lost Duck. It will reduce my damage, but more luck is good. And I'm going to take some harvesting. Still early enough to grab harvesting. I will take the armor here again. I just want as much armor as we can possibly get. We will start with the bowler hat, and I'm going to wait one more wave on the Pearl. It is 7% damage, but these two economy items are too good to buy early. And then we'll take the hunting trophy. Campfire is great as well. This is both damage and regen for us and has no penalty because the chunky removes the speed penalty. The hunting trophy we can't use yet, but as we get more critical chance, we will be able to use it. It is usually good to buy crit chance on the bull because while it only, so the bull explosion can critically hit, but it only critically hits for 1.5 damage. But the base damage is so high that critical chance on the bull often ends up being very efficient regardless. You can see here, this is why bull can be tough on the Abyss, because we are struggling to maintain our HP. I'm just taking a few too many hits, so what I want to do is group up the enemies and then chain the attacks through them with the Ogre passive. How much damage is my Ogre ability doing at the moment? We'll check that in a second here. I will take the book. We might use some engineering if we get more of it. Let's go ahead and take 2 base elemental damage. Elemental damage scales the bull damage, so it's good to just have increased base damage. Get 87 damage on the bull explosions, so we will need to boost our HP, or reduce our attack speed in order to make the bull explosions even more powerful, but we can manage that, I think. Let's go ahead and buy these 3. I'm going to pass on the injection. We want to boost our max HP as much as possible, so while 7% damage would be nice, I think we will prefer not to reduce our max HP at all. Alright, Sad Tomato's a good one. Claw Tree I will take because, although I do want to keep my max HP high, the crit chance is going to be useful for our hunting trophy, so I need to start building that, and then we'll buy the Shady Potion. Weird Ghost we can't afford. Our regen's just not high enough to heal enough to be able to actually hit enemies yet. In a couple levels, when we get some more regeneration, we would be able to buy Weird Ghost. Ideally, we'd find Fairy or something. So you can see we have enough crit chance that we are critically hitting sometimes, which actually I'm not entirely sure why, because we do have negative crit chance. I guess the bull explosion has base critical. But we got a hunting trophy income there. Yeah, and you can see we got a couple critical hits. I'm actually not certain why we're critically hitting with negative 2% crit chance, because it shouldn't have inherent chance to critically hit. That can happen with weapons sometimes if the weapon has higher than 0 base crit chance, which they mostly do. But I guess I'll take it. Sure, we will grab the riposte. This is both good for our damage output and will potentially trigger. We probably won't buy that much dodge. We only buy dodge at 50% rate because we're the chunky. More max HP, though, is great. And let's buy some regeneration. So I could buy basically a level 2 dodge upgrade, but I think I'm just going to take the armor here. We just want as much armor as we can get. When you buy dodge only at 50% rate, because the chunky reduces modifiers by 50%, we don't really want to worry about that. We will take this, and then I'm going to roll past both of these. I would buy the Goat Skull normally, but because we have Hunting Trophy, I want to increase my critical hit chance. Pocket Factory is a nice one to help us break trees if we get Lumberjack Shirt. Since we don't have Lumberjack Shirt, do I want the Pocket Factory right now? I'm going to lock it. I think it's good enough and also fun enough that I'm going to buy the Pocket Factory here. And of course, we will take the metal plate as well, starting with the metal detector because we want more luck and we want more money. Roll here. And yeah, this is an amazing shop for us. Yes, we do want critical hit chance, but a cursed metal is all the stats that we want. The speed, of course, wasted, but everything else is incredible. All right, we're going to have a hard time killing a cursed spawner. That's a lot of base HP to get through for this character. So I'm going to try to splash damage onto it, and we did manage to take it out. Would love explosion size. That's the thing that we would most want for this character. Anything that increases explosion size is massive for us. Rip and Tear would also be really nice, just to even further increase our damage output as we chain through the enemies here. Really enjoying how quickly the wave dies when we step on any enemy. They all explode. My voice like broke there. I'm recording earlier in the day than I usually do, so my voice is still, you know, waking up from being asleep. That's something they don't tell you about being a YouTube guy, is that you have to actually pay a lot of attention to the variations of your voice throughout the day, which is something that you don't normally have to do. We'll take the mastery here. Range damage does scale our bull damage, but melee damage does as well, and they scale at equivalent rates. So basically this is plus 3 damage for the bull, and we will take black belt as well. We do have 2 scars already, but the 3 melee damage is nice. Losing 8 luck is painful, of course, but we just want the most damage that we can get. Max HP is excellent here, and do I take 6 melee damage or 12% damage? I think I'm going to take the percent damage. The base damage of our explosions is quite high, so percent damage is where we need to focus. Buy out this entire shop, and then roll. Rip and Tear is great. We do lose 5 crit chance, so it's possible we're just not going to get there on the hunting trophy, unfortunately, because I'm having to do a lot of stuff that reduces our crit chance, but Rip and Tear is a huge amount of damage. Padding is kind of fun as well, because we get percent damage from our HP, and base damage on the bull explosions, so padding is going to be worth a lot, and we'll get better as we level up throughout the wave. Take Bowler Hat here also. Celery Tea, we don't want. That will make it very hard to explode the enemies, and we have plenty of XP gain already, so we're going to pass on Celery Tea. Little more regeneration so that we can more reliably get to maximum HP would be pretty nice here. I like how laggy the audio is when we blow up all these enemies at once. Because the game cues all the sounds, and then it takes it a moment to trigger all of the sound playing. Take that out, and then we want to stack all of the lampreys on top of each other so they can all get blown up by exploding a big wave. In order to do a lot of single target damage, what we want to do is stack a ton of enemies on top of each other, then the explosions from all of them hit each of them, making sure that everything dies at once. Just tank that attack from that enemy, and we're able to kill the tree there, and then our explosions continuously clearing the wave. Spicy Sauce for more explosions based on our HP. Awesome. Yeah, we will take the Knot. This is certainly the #1 character for Knot, because it gives us stats that we want, and we can't use weapons anyways. Lemonade is great here. Take 12% damage, and we will take 15 more luck. Alright, so we're going to take the Bowler Hat for sure. Strange Book gives me engineering, but costs me damage, and we don't really use engineering, so I'm going to pass on the Strange Book. Let's roll. Alien Eyes. This, if we get the damage on this high enough, it could be used to start the Ogre explosion chain. So let's take Alien Eyes. It's pretty good for Bull, because it gives you, in general, a way to start, to kill enemies that doesn't require you to be directly on top of them. We will take the Metal Plate and the Small Fish. Energy Bracelet is damage neutral, so we lose 2 but gain 2, but gives us 4 crit chance. I don't think 4 crit chance for 114 is worth it here. Cursed Jelly, a little bit funny for this character, but still good. But I'm going to take the coupon and the recycling machine first. I did not do the math, just intuited that that would be the perfect amount of materials on account of how incredible a gamer I am. Alien Baby here. So 15 max HP is great for us. Increasing enemy max health is a little painful. I'm not sure how the math works out on that. So it will make the Ogre damage improve by a bit. We will also get 5% damage off of the Chunky, because we get 1% damage per 5 max HP. 5% damage is not the equivalent of a 5% increase in enemy health is a much bigger increase in enemy health than gaining 5% damage, because the 5% damage gets added to our existing percent damage total. So it doesn't really increase our damage by 5% overall. So we would still have a harder time killing enemies. I think I'm going to pass on the Alien Baby. I think we want to focus on making sure that enemies have low enough health, or we don't want to increase enemy health, because we want to make sure that we're able to explode everything in a single chain. The one Lemonade is pretty helpful for us here. Come on, there we go. Because it makes our consumable healing better, and of course consumable healing is still a pretty important component of our healing. So even though we already had 6, going up to 7 just makes our healing that much more reliable. I will say that we don't quite have the damage to kill some of these enemies in one shot, which is starting to get worrisome, because the cursed enemies are pretty dangerous as well. So our Ogre explosions aren't chaining through the wave as much as they were before. I definitely need to focus on boosting my damage to make that happen. Go ahead and roll here, and we will just take some more max HP. Our crit chance has been reduced so much that I don't think we can ever get the crit chance here. Ice Cube is kind of nice, because the Bull Explosion scales with elemental damage, so it will work for the Ice Cube. I haven't really tried this item on the Bull before, but I'm going to buy it and just kind of see how much it helps. Cursed Campfire is incredible. That increases our damage. Let's go ahead and pick that up. We will take the... Do I want the Lure first or the Warrior Helmet first? I think I'm going to take the Warrior Helmet because we're going into an Elite Wave. And I just want the armor to make sure that we don't die here. Then we'll take the Lure and the Head Injury as well. And what we want to do with this Elite is we're going to want to stack it up on top of a bunch of enemies so that we can hit it with the Chained Explosions. So we're going to try not to hit it until it's grouped around other enemies. I sort of messed that one up, but there we go. And then... This is why you want Explosion Size. It would be so much easier with Explosion Size to guarantee hitting the Elite with multiple explosions. But we have now taken it out. I think our Pocket Factory turret there did enough damage to one of the little shrimps that it actually triggered the Bull Explosion chain, which is pretty funny. Run over here and wait for that guy so we can kill the tree. If we get Blood Donation or Bloody Hand to manually trigger explosions, again, this will be much easier. Oh, come here, come here. Yeah, I got it. Greek Fire, well, we're never setting enemies on fire, probably, so I'm just going to recycle this. I will take the Lemonade, and of course, we're just going to burst down those enemies anyways. Let's roll here, and we will take some maximum HP. Mouse, this is the perfect item for this character, so we'll take that for sure. I almost bought the coffee out of habit. You probably saw my mouse like dip down towards it, just the magnetism of the coffee. Speaking of which, I'm going to drink some coffee and re-roll here, because we're not buying that. Let's take the wheat here. This is a huge amount of bonus damage for us. And of course, more cursed items is always good. Goblet. This is great because we're going to be killing enemies constantly, so we're going to get constant healing from this. I don't think it's worth buying 3 base damage off the mastery here. Let's re-roll again, because none of that does anything. And yeah, we will take the Garden, Penguin, and Lure. All of those are going to be great for us. That cursed blobfish has so much health. It survived so easily. There we go. The chained explosions are just so satisfying when they start going off. Blowing up the loot aliens there. So right now, our Bull Explosion does about 400, and our Ogre Explosion... Can't really tell how much it's doing. About 300, it looks like. 250 to 290. So, we're not quite at the point where we're doubling most enemies' health. So, a little bit more increased damage, and we'll be at the point where we're chaining explosions through every enemy. Here, we are going to recycle the cog. We don't need this for any particular reason. Ooh, do I lose 3 base damage in order to get 30 luck? This is also worth 3% damage off the pearl. I think I will take the lucky charm here. And then let's boost my max HP even more. We have 28 armor, so I actually don't need that much more armor. Though I will still buy it when it's efficient too, like with this metal plate. But more max HP is really nice because that just improves our ogre damage and our chunky damage. Go ahead and buy all of these items for more defensive stats. We will take the... I guess actually all of these, none of these are particularly good for us because they all have penalties that we want to avoid. But I will take the Pearl, Broken Mouth, and Scar. The Scar, even this late, I think is pretty good. Once they buffed Scar by reducing its price, it has become an item that I've valued much, much more heavily. I'm going to take the Cyber Ball as well. This can just help chain damage through all the enemies, and that's just fun. Especially because we are buying so much luck. I guess we just have a base 1% chance to critically hit no matter what our crit chance is, because we're still getting crits, even though our critical hit chance is at, like, negative 14 or something. So, it seems like maybe the Bull explosion, or one of the effects that we have, the Ogre explosion maybe, just always has a 1% chance to critical. Interested in figuring out why that is, but the hunting trophy has given us like 4 materials, even though we have built no crit chance at all. Just the way that the shops have worked out, we've ended up not being able to invest in critical hit because I've reduced it a lot. Making pretty good money on these waves. Very happy with the defective steroids. That's all stats we want. I will recycle the coral. I think I'd rather have the money. Honestly, I used to like coral a lot because you can tap move to get the regeneration, but frankly, I'm just too lazy to spend time doing that. So I've just been passing on coral most of the time. Let's go ahead and buy this entire shop. And then reroll. Definitely take a treasure map, and we will take Shady Potion and Metal Plate, and then reroll. Jetpack, we don't want. This is only stats that we either get at low rates or can't use at all. But I will take the Muscly Dude, because this is stats that we do want. And then for 20, I will pass on a reroll here. Alright, so again, we're going to wait, and we're just going to stack this enemy, stack a bunch of enemies on top of the Elite, if possible, to hit it with multiple explosions at once. Also, I'm going to walk into every single projectile on the map, just to assert dominance. This is a wave where there's just not that many enemies on the field, so we are having a little bit of trouble stacking enemies on top of this Elite. We're still going to kill it pretty quickly, but on a different wave that wasn't wave 15, which just has few enemies, we'd have had an easier time killing that thing, because we'd have been more easily able to chain damage onto it. Really wish we'd found a plastic explosive. That would make this run so much more fun, because so many more enemies would die per explosion. Though, of course, everything's still dying, so I can't complain, but plastic explosive would be awesome. Yeah, potato, that's great. We will take that, of course. Tons of stats we want. Definitely not white flag. Not going to take the sharp bullet. It is good for our pocket factory, but we're mostly using that to break trees, so we don't really need to invest into improving the damage of it. Stellary Tea, we don't really care about even curse, probably. Let's see. So we get 3 curse. Enemy health going up by 50% means fewer explosions, but we can still probably clear the wave pretty quickly with the Celery Tea, and it will give me like 2 levels next wave because it just doubles my XP next wave. Wave 16 is also pretty good for doubling your XP because there's a lot of enemies on wave 16. So I think I will take the Celery Tea. I will also go up to 0% crit chance, so we can maybe get some value out of the hunting trophy before the end of the run. Medikit is pretty useful. I could duplicate it as well. It would cost me 20 luck here if I duplicate the medkit, but it gives us 20 regeneration and a bunch of stacked regeneration. So let's go ahead and do that, and then I will lock Campfire, roll once, and we will take the defective steroids, which is the perfect item for us as well. Alright, so I do have to remember enemies have increased health. The small enemies we should still be one-shotting. The larger enemies, it might take a little bit of more effort to kill. But it's only 50% increased health because it's a cursed Celery Tea, or 60%-ish, rather than the normal 100%. So it doesn't increase their effectiveness as much as it normally would. The cursed stargazers, these like drooly guys, there we are focusing on stacking enemies on top of, just as if they were elites or loot aliens, because they have so much health when they're cursed. Sometime around the middle of this wave, we're going to start seeing a bunch of curse aliens spawn. At I guess 15 seconds remaining in this wave is when they all spawn. And this is what I was a little bit worried about with the celery tea here, is we got less curse than we'd have liked off of that wave, because the enemies having increased health made it harder, but it still worked out very well. Baby with a beard, I'm going to recycle. We haven't really built that much ranged damage, so while it can help spread damage around the map, 150 materials is better, I think. Take the jelly here, and then build some crit chance, and here, let's take 20 luck. Buy this, this, and this, and then roll. Crown, it's a bit late for the crown, but a cursed corrupted shard is pretty fun. Missile is great, because we want to reduce our crit chance, or our attack speed. Take the shady potion. I'm going to take the crown, though, because how can you be a king without a crown? Let's take the honey. This is exactly what we're looking for, explosion damage and size. Even 5% explosion size is really nice for this character, because just making sure more enemies get hit is exactly what we care about most. Wisdom, I think we can pass on. We want upfront damage, so we're going to pass on the wisdom, and then for 24, I'm not going to reroll. Finding more explosion size earlier would have been nice, as would have been finding more and increased enemies. We did find a mouse and a gentle alien, so we'd found some increased enemy spawns. Can't complain that much about it, but we'd be getting even more explosions across the whole map if we'd found more increased enemies earlier. At this point, we have enough defensive stats with the double med kit that I can just charge into everything with pretty much impunity. We also have 200 luck, so we're generating consumables off of pretty much every enemy, every group of enemies that dies. Mutation is great, that's just more base damage, and we will take the potato as well, of course. For range damage, obviously this is a lot worse than if we'd found a level 4 melee upgrade. This is the equivalent of a level 2 melee upgrade, but I'm still just going to take it for some more base damage. I guess now we have positive crit chance. The hunting trophy probably won't pay for itself, but it might. I'm actually curious about this. I like to just check hunting trophy, because so often it pays off, even if you buy it on like wave 18. So I'm just curious if it will here. We will buy more crit chance if we see it to try to make that happen as well. Ashes, I will take... No, I don't want 20% attack speed. I will take the charcoal, though. That's just some more base damage for us. And roll, we'll take 12% damage off the Cyclops worm, because that's pretty efficient as well. And we are not going to buy riposte. We don't have any dodge. Well, we have 0% dodge, so we're not going to worry about the riposte there. It's just an inefficient way to buy melee damage for this character. This is another wave where there's a few high health enemies, which is exactly what we don't want. I will say this this character not getting a horde wave was really unfortunate, because we'd have been able to just obliterate everything on a horde wave. That would have been really fun. Go ahead and break all of the towers there. So you can see even the 5% explosion size increase is chaining the explosions through way more enemies when the Ogre explosion happens. It's easy to overlook how good improving explosion size is, but because it's an increase to the radius, the amount of area that you're getting on each explosion is actually massive. Even a 5% increase in the radius is a huge increase to the area of the circle. We don't use weapon damage, but the Frozen Heart is still just 8 elemental damage and 5 crit chance for us, so it's great. Definitely not the torture. We need our healing. Here, let's go ahead and just take the max HP. It's just a bunch of damage for our Ogre explosions, and I'll take some more armor just to get to a nice round 40. Go ahead and buy these things and then roll. Take a mouse here and then roll. Improved tools gives us attack speed. It reduces our structure attack speed, so we probably don't want that. I'll take the broken mouth, and I'm going to pass on the salt water because it just reduces my damage. Pumpkin, we don't care about. Cute monkey, that's a good way to heal. It would reduce my ogre damage explosions, but or my bull explosions. Keeping track of which explosion is which is tough, but it is a lot of healing. That being said, I think what we're going to do is just lock the alien magic, and then I'm going to roll once and see if I can get something a little bit better. Take the cake here, and go to wave 19. As each explosion chains through a group of enemies, yeah, this is where it gets really satisfying. Wave 19 is always so fun for the Ogre, because there's so many enemies, and a lot of the earlier enemies in the Abyss map, or earlier waves in the Abyss map, have high health, powerful enemies, whereas on Wave 19, other than the walruses, it's mostly enemies that you can just one-shot with the Ogre explosions, so you're going to start seeing these chained explosions going through every single enemy on the map, and that's just so much fun. I would have liked to see a Horde wave earlier, of course, but we just got a ton of damage there. We'll take this, we'll recycle that. I don't want to increase my attack speed. And let's roll here. Take 15 luck, because why not? Alien magic, take another spicy sauce, and a muscly dude. Extra stomach, this would have been really good if we'd gotten it earlier, because of course any max HP that we get would be really, really nice. Let's reroll here. Cursed bag, I'm going to pass on all of this. We don't really need any of it. Cursed bag, so notice the bag has given us 850 materials, which is, as always, incredible. Jerky is awesome for this character. That's a huge amount of bonus healing that we're getting. Let's keep rolling and roll some more. Roll some more. Getting a little unlucky on anything useful. I guess the sunglasses is pretty good for us, so we will take that. I should check my hunting trophies as well. We got these pretty early, and they didn't do anything in particular because I didn't end up building crit chance, so the hunting trophies didn't work out this time. The late one I bought, I was pretty sure wouldn't, because we didn't find any more crit chance. But if we had, we'd have made money off it. And then, so let's buy the crit chance for more damage, and then reroll, and go to wave 20. So this is actually going to be a little bit interesting, because these bosses do a lot of damage, even with our 40 armor. And there aren't that many enemies on this wave, so it's harder for us to chain damage on top of the bosses here. As well, I have built a couple things like Cyber Balls and Alien Eyes that make it a little bit harder to just stack enemies on top of the bosses. That said, our defensive stats are so high that we're still killing the bosses without having to worry that much about it, so we can probably just run into the whale here. There we go, got it. Yeah, so I was being a little too clever there. I could have just run straight at them and just unga-bunga'd my way through it, but as it was, we still managed to clear them very, very easily. That run was a lot of fun. I highly recommend it. Just the chained explosions from Bull and Ogre are very satisfying. Chunky adds a nice element of boosting your max HP for bonus damage is pretty fun as well. You could also try this with like double Ogre or something like that, which would be pretty fun as well. Finding multiple scars and multiple bags early was obviously incredible for this character. I mean, look at our first 3 items. It's like the 3 best economy items in the game were our first 3 items. We found gentle aliens as well early. Bowler hats were pretty nice. The hunting trophies did not work out, as I said. The pearls did, because I bought a lot of luck. So even though we didn't find that many pearls, or find any pearls in boxes, I don't think, we still ended up having these be worth 22 damage each. And the Pocket Factory came a little late by that point. There were enough enemies on the field. We didn't really need it to help break trees, but it was kind of fun anyways. And not, of course, for the bull is incredible. It's just a huge amount of stats with no downsides on that character. The crown was only worth 44 harvesting, so didn't pay for itself, but was still pretty fun. And of course, you have to buy it if you are on one of these runs, because otherwise, how can you crown yourself champion? All right, my friends, I hope that you enjoyed this run. And of course, as always, if you have, feel free to leave a comment and hit that like button. It helps me out a ton with the algorithm. So I appreciate you pushing buttons on YouTube, because the algorithm cares very much about that. And of course, you can subscribe to my channel for more Brotato and other strategy game analysis. Cheers, folks. I'll catch you next time.